Metaphysical Energy Healing, using subtle energy to alter states of consciousness and induce healing. An audiobook written by Dr. William R. Schroeder, DOM, CDB, narrated by Dr. Bill. Hello and greetings. I am Dr. Bill. I am a board-certified internal medicine specialist practicing in Central Colorado. I am also a highly trained scientist with a degree in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology from the University of Colorado at Boulder, graduating in 1979. I am a university-trained practitioner of integrative medicine as well. I am a graduate of the University of Arizona's Associate Program in Integrative Medicine, receiving training from the pioneer of integrative medicine, Dr. Andrew Weil, MD. I am also an energy medicine practitioner, having done hands-on, local, and distance healing using these techniques. Near the end of my training at the University of Arizona School of Medicine in Integrative Medicine, I was part of an experiment at the Human Bioenergetics Laboratory, where I was introduced to the power of energy healing, and to my principal teacher, Dr. Rosalind L. Bruyere, Doctor of Divinity. I use energy medicine several times a day in my standard Western medical practice with outstanding results. 20 years ago, I became part of an ongoing human experiment several thousand years old. In 2002, I learned an ancient technique of energy medicine in less than 15 minutes, and you can too. The astonishing healing power of even this simple technique is stunning. Over many years, I have developed an even more powerful technique that challenges our understanding of reality. I now teach this technique to my patients routinely at every opportunity I get, and the results have been amazing. Over 20 years of work have gone into perfecting the teaching of these techniques to my patients and perfecting the techniques themselves. What I have found is that, without a doubt, if done correctly, my patients not only feel better physically and mentally, but they have the opportunity to regain control of their body, thoughts, minds, and spirits. If properly taught and performed, many of my patients have also reversed or even eliminated major and complicated, difficult-to-treat diseases. And it's free. Insurance company premiums, copays, and deductibles are not necessary. I would, however, like to let you know at this point that these techniques are best integrated with your health maintenance and disease prevention treatments and protocols. They are not meant to be a substitute for standard Western medical care. Coordinate your care through a standard Western medical doctor to achieve the best results for maintenance of your health and treatment of disease. Realize that these techniques are awesomely simple to perform. All it takes is time and effort. And then it takes no effort at all. How paradoxical. Now it is your turn. I hope that you will benefit greatly from what I have to offer you. The time has come for me to share what I have found. I have been blessed with a teacher and healer of great wisdom and power, whom I respect more than any physician I have ever met. Her name is Dr. Rosalind L. Bruyere, Doctor of Divinity. I consider her to be a national treasure and one of the most beautiful beings I have ever met. She was the teacher for an experiment that began in 2002 at the Human Bioenergetics Laboratory, now known as the Human Energy Systems Laboratory, on the campus of the University of Arizona School of Medicine. I was a subject in that experiment. Over 2 decades later, with this audiobook, the experiment that began there continues. She introduced me to the reality of energy healing. She is my teacher, and I am her humble student. I and my patients owe her a debt of eternal gratitude. Before I go further, I would like to thank my many other teachers. They are too numerous to count. They are my patients. We have suffered together, worked together, and prayed together. I thank them with all my heart for their patience, trust, and love. Although this audiobook outlines a discovery of great importance to medicine and society, it is written for you. Your level of stress determines not only your risk of physical disease, but also your ability to enjoy life and advance on emotional and spiritual levels. Your level of stress is determined by your level of consciousness. Working with thousands of patients, I have developed a practical, portable, and simple means of reducing stress, pain, and anxiety. This technique also has the power to maintain physical health, arrest disease, and potentially even reverse disease. This is done by altering your consciousness and your energy field. You can easily use energy medicine yourself and integrate it with your standard medical and health optimization care. It turns out that manipulation of what some call subtle energies has the capacity to induce, in the waking state, levels of consciousness that naturally combat stress. At these levels, the body has the inborn ability to reverse or arrest disease. At the deepest levels, this effect has miraculous qualities. Using certain explanations, thoughts, philosophies, and metaphors can make it easier for a person to enter these higher states of consciousness and heal. This is also true of certain exercises. I will provide them for you here. Thoughts and exercises are good for getting there, yet it is being there that induces healing. Intentionally moving into higher states of consciousness dissolves our illusory reaction to stress and thoughts, and the automatic healing response of the body is unleashed. The built-in power of the body to heal often shocks us. Since I'm a physician, this was the first aspect of energy medicine to draw my attention. People were healing. Placing their attention firmly on the metaphysical produces healing beyond anything I know of in the West. This was a big surprise, and the extent of the additional effect was quite mysterious to me at first. People were healing from things they weren't supposed to. Entering higher consciousness also unveils abilities and skills in most individuals regarded as paranormal. These so-called psychic skills are common enough to be viewed as natural to our species. People were gaining their full potential. 20 years ago, I had an inexplicable experience. What you are about to experience both defies explanation and demands one. You will be the experience, and I will try to explain the inexplicable. Of course, you cannot fully experience something if you're busy explaining it. Let me do that work for you. Or if you are so inclined, come up with your own explanations. Maybe you'll just come up with the explanation that I'm totally out of my mind. This is not precisely true, although I consider it a compliment. What is precisely true is that I can exit the ordinary mind and access a more powerful mind. I warn you that it is much better to explain an event after experiencing it. When we explain an experience, we think, as is our habit, and thinking is the realm of the lowest mind, which from this point onward we will be calling the ordinary mind. There are two other minds accessible only through a higher or more global state of conscious experience. In those states, experience often defies explanation. So I had an interesting choice for this book. If I provided the experience before the explanation, much would be lost in terms of navigating and performing the experience. On the other hand, focusing too much on the explanation could definitely spoil the experience. This is so because this would engage the brain and ordinary mind, and the experience is metaphysical. It is beyond the brain and ordinary mind. Although I am by cultural designation called a physician, I am by choice a healer. After 2 decades of experience as a healer, I now hope to provide you with your own experience. That experience is of a hidden mind, operating silently below the surface. Peaceful and still, like an undisturbed pond, this mind has vast resources and enormous power. Here the natural healing forces spontaneously emerge without interference. My access to this hidden mind came very suddenly, and my world was transformed in a day. Introducing others, in both illness and health, to this mind, this state of consciousness, in mere minutes, has been an absolute joy. How extraordinarily lucky I am. At one time, I thought I knew who I was and what I was. As a physician and scientist, I studied incessantly to gain that knowledge. Energy medicine changed my view of myself, the world, and others forever. You are not what you have been told you are. You are a field of conscious, vibrating energy. Both modern physics and ancient spirituality agree on this point. If someone had told me I was a vibrating field of conscious energy years ago, I would have laughed. Now I wish someone would have at least mentioned it and put it that way. That would have helped a great deal. Now I know it is the truth. I can tell you that you are not only a vibrating cloud of conscious energy, but that you also exist fully within and are permeated by a larger field of conscious energy. It is quite easy to confirm this. Just as we as children evolved into consciousness of the physical world we occupy with our five senses and ordinary minds, the mysterious thing we call our soul is constantly evolving into the metaphysical with a sixth sense and a superconscious mind. These exist beyond the veil of understanding. Just physically recognizing this truth frees us from the confines of the ordinary mind. The ordinary mind has rules imposed by its sensory limitations, connection to the physical, and concepts. In the higher metaphysical states of consciousness, the rules change. At the highest metaphysical level, one can speculate that there are no rules. In the deepest state, there is no time and no place. We evolve into this field of consciousness. It already exists. This field is, quote, non-local. So the mind occupying this field exists as a perceiver where everything is, in every time, all at once, simultaneously. The ordinary mind exists as a filter of this infinite field of information and produces the illusion of time and location. Thus, it is the ordinary mind, the mind you are using now, that is hallucinating and dreaming a full illusion. It is also true that the metaphysical directly affects the physical. Scientific medical research has proven this beyond any doubt. The mind affects the body in profound ways. The mind is metaphysical. We are metaphysical beings having a physical experience. It is only our metaphysical selves that suffer from the physical. That is where we are wounded, and that is where we must heal. Though we exist in a physical body, healing happens when we access the metaphysical. You can experience this for yourself. One type of spontaneous healing we experience through accessing the metaphysical aspects of ourselves appears to be magical. It is not. We are merely freeing built-in powers of recovery that lie dormant. This is not paranormal in that it happens every day, all the time. The other type of healing that we can experience through accessing our metaphysical selves involves the use of conscious intent while in a state of higher consciousness. It very much appears to be magical because it defies the rules of the lower or ordinary mind. We view these healings as paranormal, and we are right. We can accomplish both types of metaphysical healing. Through this audiobook, I intend to teach you the keys to using both of these powers. As a physician and healer, I now use both in my daily duties with my patients. I teach them, and their natural power is revealed. While I have not abandoned Western scientific medical techniques, these types of healings can be far superior to what we ordinarily experience. While the explanation behind these healings is complex, the techniques we will be using are awesomely simple. They are simple because they are built-in features of the conscious human organism. What I will be teaching you, you are already doing. Accept the challenge of doing it better, and you will heal in an unexpected and powerful way. Like many others before me, I have walked a path that has freed me from the ordinary mind and brain. You may be speechless, as I was, many times along this path. Along this path, humans that traveled before me have left guideposts. There is a map and a destination. So many have discovered high consciousness as a path to healing that the means to it seem innumerable. Many have left deeds and words that showed they walked the path to this destination. I have not arrived there. I have only glimpsed the mystery of mysteries. You can't do if you drop all concepts and expectations. In an attempt to treat disease and alleviate suffering, a path opened to me where I could induce profound physical healing and teach others to do the same. This path allows physical, emotional, and spiritual healing and the evolution of the soul to occur. I use this path to teach people these methods, knowing they are not my own. They are simply inborn properties of being fully conscious humans. Come journey with me to the frontiers of human consciousness. Come journey with me towards the point of emergent creation and change. You will encounter the impossible and the inconceivable. You will make friends with the known, the unknown, and the unknowable. Embrace them. I have, and the results have been extraordinary. This is an invitation to step into your power. If you accept this path, you can journey to the edge of consciousness and the source of healing. Every journey begins with a single step.